What up, you bunch of badasses? My name is BZAR, and if you read the description or even the title below this video, you would know that this video is about Incredibles 2. With the announcement of Toy Story 4 and a lot of other Pixar films just feeling like they're going to be callbacks to other films, I just feel like, I don't know, like maybe Pixar isn't as hot as they once were. And I'm sad to say that Incredibles 2 has definitely pushed that thought forward, but we'll get into that in a second. First things first, especially when it comes to movies, we break down the plot. The plot of this film is super duper simple. Basically, if you've seen Incredibles 1, you could probably guess how Incredibles 2 is gonna go. Incredibles 2 features the kind of same situation that we were dealing with at the end of Incredibles 1. Incredibles 2 picks up directly at where Incredibles 1 ended, where the superhero family that we all know and love. They run outside after Dak's track meet is interrupted by a guy who has a giant drill outside, and he's drilling around in the attempts to rob a bank. The whole family jumps into action and they go and thwart the bad guy. At the end of this though, the public is still really pissed at them, blaming them for all the damage that was caused by the supervillain, which makes no sense to me because no public would do that. They were there, there's a giant drill there. It's clear that the heroes were trying to help a situation that went amok. It's whatever. Where it differs from Incredibles 1 is that in this film, instead of the super multinational company coming to them and setting them up for failure, the super multinational company is coming to them, trying to set them up to be actually heroes again. Actually, no. As I sit here and do this review, it's the exact same freaking pitch that Mirage used to get Mr. Incredible there on the island in the first place in the first movie. Literally, how would you like to make a difference and change to how the public perceives supers? The exact same pitch. The company hires Elastigirl to be their basically brand influencer, and she's supposed to help influence the public to like supers again. All the while, this random supervillain that no one's ever heard of that pops up just when she takes the job, called the Screenslaver, appears and literally only challenges her, since she's the only super out, but he challenges her on the first day when she first gets there, and it's like the most coincidental thing that you could ever see. Honestly, from that point forward, it kind of just ruined the whole movie because I knew exactly what was going to happen and how it was going to happen from that point forward. I thought up to that point, maybe this will be a different type of film, but nope, you hit all the Disney hallmarks and then tried to tell me that it was gold. Right off the bat, kind of had a lot of issues with Incredibles 2. When you hear about Incredibles 2 10 years after Incredibles 1, you're thinking, oh man, that means they spent 10 years getting the script together, working on it, really trying to put something down that's gonna be incredible. And then when you watch the film, you're just like, man, you guys really lazied your way around this, really called in all the basics of a sequel, and hope nobody noticed. Well, I noticed, and you didn't do a good job. That's the whole plot. The cinematography of this film is, of course, great. Nice lighting, great camera angles, smart designs. Everything about the cinematics of this film are definitely there. It's definitely worth a watch if you just love animation. But if you came to watch this movie for story, they ain't got one. There ain't no story. Just a bunch of basic shit thrown together and hoping that people would agree to spend their money on it. The cast is meh. In the first Incredibles movies, there's actually time taken for character development in each one of the 4 Incredibles that we meet. Each one of them has character arcs that we see throughout the film change, which makes us like them more. At one point, the movie starts to feel like Spy Kids, and that's not good. Spy Kids is really just a one-off situation. No one should ever try to recreate or copy that film. I'm still amazed that as a kid, that film enticed me the way it did, but I mean, I guess all kids want to be spies, so makes sense. But these kids have powers. They don't need to be spies. I mean, they have superpowers. I mean, they're dealing with stuff that most kids dream about. They're living Shazam lives. They are not trying to be just a regular Joe Schmo kid. There's not even really iconic moments like there are in the first Incredibles. There are a lot of really iconic moments in the first Incredibles that makes it stand out. Dash running on the water, Syndrome freezing everybody with the literally no move beams that I can't remember the names to. That's actually a great scene. When they're all 4 poses and the superhero poses and the 2 freaking blade cycles come out, those are iconic moments in a film where you go, oh, wow, this is dope. There's only like one of those in Incredibles 2. The overall premise of the movie is boring. Most of the scenes are boring. It's just not as fun as the first film. There's probably like 10 funny moments in all of The Incredibles, but they're well scattered out so that it keeps you entertained. Mostly Dash makes you laugh because he's awesome. And then kind of dealing with Violet's teenager angst, I guess, is kind of funny, but not as funny as Dash. Dash literally was the only reason I was watching the film. I would rather see a Dash movie going out of Incredibles 2 than I would want to see a Violet and Dash movie or the Incredibles adult division movie. Like, I don't even want to see a Mr. Incredibles before the Incredibles prequel situation where we set up him and Elastigirl meeting and him and Frozone are doing this whole thing, because based off of what I've been shown in this film, it wouldn't be interesting. I wouldn't care. I would be bored. Probably be like the 1950s. Frozone would probably be your black tag-along friend. You'd have to explain the entire World War II situation to me to get me involved. There's just a lot that would have to go into it to make me care about a prequel to The Incredibles. The Incredibles 3 with Dash dealing with dating and Violet going off to college and Bob and Elastigirl getting older in their age, now having 4 years, training different teams, doing all this stuff, trying to learn a balance between being parents, being superheroes, and running what I guess would amount to like the Justice League of their universe. That would be a good third movie to add on, but I know Disney's not going to do that. If we're trying to answer the question of should you give a fuck about Incredibles 2, I'm going to have to give this 2S for fucking fail, man. I just don't think Incredibles 2 is an interesting film. As I watched it, I was just like, why the fuck was this made? Like, why was this made? I would have rather seen a Lilo and Stitch 4 than to see another Incredibles movie. This was not good. A WALL-E 2 would have been cooler than this. When I sit down and look at this film, I just keep asking myself, why did you make this? For this film, it's getting a rating of 2S for fucking fail. You gotta do better, Disney. This cannot happen twice. So this has been another episode of BZAR Review. I'm your host, BZAR. Be dope. Peace. Speak the truth, abandon all lies.